Hello and welcome to Animation Triad. I'm Stu.
I'm Will.
And I'm having some bad flashbacks from the 80s. By the way, aka I'm Alex, and thank you very much, Stu, because, yikes, today's episode
Is a hangover from the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking mullets, assless chaps.
Lots of that. I think there wasn't a single person wearing pants in the entire film.
No, there wasn't.
But what film are we talking about? Why, we are talking about the 1983 animated fantasy epic known as Fire and Ice. Ice, baby.
No, that's the 90s. That's the 90s.
I know, that's 90s crap getting mixed in with our 80s crap.
Don't cross the stream.
Oh, God, no!
Don't cross the fandoms.
Never cross the streams.
Anyways, wow. But yeah, you described this as 80s hangover fuel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is,
Good Lord.
for those who are a little bit unfamiliar with the visual style of this film, as I was, think Conan the Barbarian. With a lot more grunting and,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
so let's begin.
Please.
Let's begin.
Let's begin proper.
Please.
So, Fire and Ice, as I said, was a 1980s animated adventure fantasy film. Now, it was directed by Ralph Bakshi.
Bakshi.
Is it actually Bakshi?
Bakshi.
Bakshi. I'm horrible with pronunciation, so I've got to work on that, because I actually am a fan of his. I like his work to the degree of I can appreciate it. I don't always like his films, but I can appreciate what he tries to do for the most part. He's most famous for, well, let's just be honest, he's most famous for
a lot of some
X-rated stuff.
Yeah,
well,
schlocky.
mostly he's famous for directing the first animated X-rated film, Fritz the Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also famous for his adaptation of Lord of the Rings. He did the first animated adaptation of it,
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
which was
Oh,
also
yeah.
rotoscoped.
Yeah.
Now, a little sidetrack here. This film is rotoscoped. Now,
Yes.
we've mentioned that art technique before, but we never actually explained what it was.
Right.
Back in our first review with Flight of Dragons, we mentioned it, but we never explained what rotoscope was. So I'm going to break it down for you.
Break it down.
All right. Rotoscoping is a technique that was developed in, I want to say, very early on. Here's the patent. Was patented by Max Fleischer in 1915.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, so it's old. And I'm going to show on the screen in a moment a picture of the actual patent, his drawing up for the design for it.
All right.
Which is actually quite interesting to see. And here, tell me what you guys think. Because basically what it is a projector of live action. So it takes a film, projects it onto a glass panel, and then the artist puts a paper over it and just draws each cell.
So tracing with a lot of extra steps involved.
Basically tracing. Well, I don't know if I want to call it. Yes, it is tracing, and that's where a lot of criticism of it comes from, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people look down upon. Quite a few people I've spoken to tend to look down on rotoscope, but I will say this. It does create some very fluid movement.
Oh, yeah.
It does, and it does help with keeping your character models consistent from one frame to another.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
believable, as opposed to the more outlandish designs that other animated features and, even shows.
So let's take a look at anime. The
Oh.
proportions and how. I mean, I'm sorry. This is going to come up a bit, but
Yeah.
breast physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is physics? Well, I will give this film. I will say this much for Black Sheep's work and Fire and Ice in particular. The body physics, it was drawn by a bunch of for lack of a better word, horny male animators. But
wait till you hear who worked on this.
oh boy,
Now this
okay.
is actually where the film gets really interesting. But as I was saying about rotoscoping,
Yeah.
So basically, you would take live action actors, you take actual actors, and you have the entire thing acted out, and then you would draw over it, basically. that means this entire film was actually shot with professionally shot with actors and everything
in their outfits.
In their outfits, yes. We have footage here. I want to not footage, but photos. I'm gonna pull up some of the scenes of the actors because I found them. It took me a while to find them.
Oh wow, really?
Yes, the actual actors. Here's a picture of a couple. Yep, and they're wearing the actual outfits and everything. But here's this is kind of cool.
I hope they got paid reasonably well for this because this looks like the shoot from a bad 80s porno. Yikes.
It really does.
Yeah.
Or Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Because this was right around the time when Arnold did Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
So this was the reason this basically got made is because they said, well, fantasy films are really popular right now. Let's do this.
In particular, Conan the Barbarian and
Yeah, here's a side-by-side. I'll post this on as well. This is the actor who played him, whose name I'm not even going to bother mentioning because he never did anything.
Oh, okay.
Right? And there's the
well,
the
you're gonna break his heart. But I will say
I'm sorry, dude.
I thought that he looked his character model looked Larn.
Larn, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Randy Norton, who has no credits to his name or anything remotely attached to him.
And no offense to you, Guy. I thought it was just the animators with how they drew your face with the
nose.
Yeah, but seriously, you got some. I don't know.
My only thing is they did a really good job of capturing, but his nose kind of. This is another issue with some things. Their noses tended to disappear, which is weird because I mean, with rotoscope, you think that'd be easier, but it isn't always as easy with the faces for some reason.
Also, I have to admit. The guy on the right doesn't have really impressive eyebrows. The guy on the left, though, those are some eyebrows.
Yes, they are some. Also, the
mouth.
The mouth. The drawing does not have lips by the look of it.
No,
that's a little weird. But here's another one. This is no, it's the same one. 1 second. Dark Wolf. Here's the guy who played him.
Whoa!
Look at that guy.
Now jeez, he should have been in the WWE.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
Yeah.
No, actually, that was the Steven Sander, the guy who voice acted him, also was his body double.
Oh.
He was body for him. Steven Sander is, well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. He was in almost all your favorite 80s TV series, such as Starsky and Hutch, Chips, Charlie's Angels, Fantasy Island, Three's Company, The A-Team, Knight Rider.
What?
Yeah. His doesn't have a lot of credits to him, but he's most famous for The Ninth Configuration, which is a 1980s film by William Peter Blatty. It's a weird film. It starts out as like a comedy and then just gets dark as all hell. And he's also famous for this film we're talking about right now.
Well, I'd say this film is a very accurate encapsulation of the qualities of the 80s in terms of animation that were both the positive and a lot of the negative.
Whoa! Get this.
What's that?
Oh no! What have we got?
He was in the Superman TV series from the DC animated universe.
What?
Oh no!
As Orion.
Orion?
Sorry.
What?
Why am I so bad with names? Orion. Wow.
All right,
kidding me.
Wow, yeah,
Wow.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that.
Interesting.
What else has he been in?
I'm sure we can.
Not much. That was basically the last thing he was in.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? He's still active, but he doesn't really have much going on.
Well, I'm sure we can delve into the history of
But
these,
yes, we've touched on rotoscoping. So that's basically the idea. Some people don't like it, but I mean, like, you know what? It makes for some fluid animation. Disney used it. It's still used to this day. The traditional way of doing it.
Yeah,
it was recently done in a couple of animes.
I'm not an opponent of supposedly cost cutting.
Don't look that up yet.
No,
I see you looking up the names.
I
want your general reaction for this next one.
Okay,
all right, none of that
okay,
now. All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
All right. Anyways, but yeah, I do get it.
Yeah.
I can see why it would get a lot of flack for being seen as like a cost-cutting measure or of some kind.
Well,
but,
I mean,
in terms
is
of-
it really a cost-cutting measure? Because you're basically you're shooting the film
yeah,
a
you're
live action, and then you're animating it. So you're basically working on it twice over.
Well, kind of, but you have to think in minds of, in this, you really are just having the actors act out the motions. So they're not building sets, they're not doing anything like, they're just doing a little bit of costuming here and there.
Yeah.
They're doing, they're hiring
props,
props and stuff, but the props only have to be the bare minimum.
But
Because
here's
that
the
can be
thing,
drawn
though.
in.
You said that there were basically two sets of actors, the performers and the voiceover work.
Yes, and the voiceover worked. Well, let me see if I can find
yeah,
it.
that's another
I
thing.
have it in my notes here. 1 second. Where is it? It was basically the voice actors did not get top billing.
Really?
No, they did not.
That
Supposedly,
surprises me.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
the body actors got the billing for the most part, and Ralph had to really push to get the voice actors to get credit.
Really?
I think, if I remember correctly, it's. I mean, if you watch the there's the DVD that was released a while back, which we will share a link to on Amazon.
Yeah.
Below. It comes with some special features that were actually Ralph's own collection. So it has like the making of stuff and all that, and he goes into much more detail with it. It's actually a really interesting watch because, well, I don't think I really mentioned who else was involved in this project.
Please do tell.
Yes,
Okay.
because one of the biggest
Okay.
influences on the entire film
Yeah.
was Frank Franzetta.
Yeah.
Now, Frank Franzetta is a very famous illustrator. Most
Oh.
famous for... Okay. He produced paintings for paperback editions of adventure books.
Okay.
His interpretation of Conan
Oh.
basically
Oh.
redefined the entire genre of sword and sorcery.
I knew it.
He
I
is
knew
responsible for... Basically, if you think of Conan or how he looks, this is the guy responsible for it.
So yeah, so this
Oh.
predates even Conan the Barbarian,
Mm,
or
is it?
right around the time.
Kind of. I mean, he's famous for basically the reprints of the original
Oh,
stories and
okay.
stuff.
Okay.
For the art, his stuff has been attached to it. He also did basically did the paperback edition cover art for Tarzan
Oh.
and John Carter of Mars. You can actually look up a lot of his stuff. He's a fantastic artist. He's got his own style, which I will say is very obvious.
Hyper. Well,
Hyper
not-
masculine and
Yeah, it's.
he likes his ladies with curves. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
And as little clothing as possible.
He likes his people with as little clothing as possible, because let's put it this way: he is equal opportunist when it comes to skin being shown for
There
both
you go.
men and women.
Yeah, true.
Yes,
No matter how inappropriate the environment his characters may inhabit
they
may be.
never show cold. Also, did you notice that no one had a shadow in the entire?
You're
Oh
right.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
look at that, I mean, everything else is animated so well, but never a shadow for any of the characters.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of odd.
I think they just decided, all right, look, we're already tracing over these actors with their live action movements. I mean, do you guys want to, put in a few extra, hours trying to get the shadows just right? And then they just sort of said, I mean, do we really want this on our resume, guys? I mean, do we really want to know that we drew,
Oh,
Came-
just keep thinking about. I want you to remember what you are saying right now when I get to these animators.
oh,
All right, I
boy.
really want you to think about that. Okay,
He's going to get me for this.
I am. I'm gonna get you for this.
You want me to get a fork so you can eat your words?
You'll
I
see.
might have to.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Stu, go ahead.
a little bit more about Francetta. All right, so he's also really well known for doing the cover arts for the cover. I already said covers, didn't I? I'm repeating myself, but
Yeah.
he did the cover art for Vampirella, the comics.
Oh.
Yes, he's also famous for doing several movie posters.
Oh, which
Oh,
ones?
really?
The Fearless Vampire Hunters,
Okay.
and an old favorite of mine called Who's Minding the Mint? Who's Minding the Mint?
Who's minding the mint?
Yes, it
Huh.
was basically a heist film, but a comedy,
Ah, okay.
and it had so many actors from like these, I want to say 60s or 60s ish.
Yeah.
And I loved that movie because my grandpa got me a VHS copy of it when I was really little, and I always used to watch it with him. So fond memories right there.
Oh.
Now, in terms of his influence, now this is one you're going to like.
Oh.
Because I know you said he reminded him of he said one of the main characters,
Black Wolf?
Dark Wolf.
Yeah.
Reminded you a lot of somebody from World of Warcraft. Who was it?
The character's name is Rexar.
Mm-hmm.
And he is basically a half-orc, half-ogre.
We're going to throw up a picture of him so you can see.
Yeah.
So this is Rexar. And now, here's a picture of
Dark Wolf.
Dark Wolf. Now,
and here's a picture of them both side by side.
yes.
Yeah.
And now, here is the photo of the inspiration for Dark Wolf.
Give it to us.
Yo! Oh.
This is one of his most famous paintings, known as The Death Dealer.
Yeah.
This was taken by the U.S. Army Corps and used as their symbol for a little while.
Oh.
They adopted it as like their unofficial symbol.
That's metal.
No.
Funny you should mention metal.
Oh my
He
God.
did covers for metal albums.
We're just playing into your hands, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
you are
oh.
all the time. Now get this. He did the okay.
All right.
Dust. He did the cover for their album Hard Attack from 1972.
Yeah.
He did several covers for Molly Hatchet.
Yo.
Huh.
He did let's see, the cover for Wolf Mother's self-titled debut album, Wolf Mother. Now here's a picture of that album.
Oh. Yo.
Yeah, I mean his
Yeah.
art is really good.
That's some Dark Souls stuff right there.
Yeah.
Very much so. I could definitely see that being inspiration for that.
See, here's the thing. I dig the style, but at the same time, it's something that I feel you can't, just being constantly surrounded around for too long. I mean,
no, it's
and this
hyper masculine.
Yeah, this was one of my issues with the movie. It's like, I'm all. I'm all for non-linear storytelling and minimal dialogue and whatnot, but you just have to have something to go on too. I mean, Fire and Ice, it was just
that's kind of its number one setback. It's that it's very subpar, I guess.
Well, yes, it really is. The writing is not all that great, which is odd when you consider that the writing credits go to Gary Conway and Roy Thomas, who wrote stories for Marvel Comics.
Oh.
They wrote the Conan the Barbarian comics for Marvel Comics.
Oh.
Now, here's another thing.
Yo.
They both served as editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics in the 70s.
Oh.
Thomas took over the position from Stan Lee in 72, and Conway briefly held it in 76.
Oh.
So they had the chops, and yet even
The writing is minimalistic at best.
It is, because it's basically... there is very, very few dialogue in the film.
There really isn't much.
Honestly, I could only tell you maybe one or two characters at most outside of Dark Wolf himself, who I will just right off the get-go refer to as prehistoric caveman Batman.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
he really is.
I joked, but this film should have been titled, Fire and Ice, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Prehistoric Batman.
Who makes the film? He
Yeah.
really does.
He is one of the few highlights. I feel
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not in like classic Batman with the gritty or the new Batman with the gritty voice.
He kind of. His voice kind of reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Like a John Wayne character.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, kind of that 50s and 60s, gruff, hard-bitten detective who's, seen everything in the world and is determined to give you a black eye for thinking you know better.
Now, if you're wondering why we're focusing on this one character and not the others, it's because he's the only one who has, actual character.
Well,
well-
I'd say out of all the characters in the film, let's get this out of the way. Let's do a brief synopsis of the story.
Okay.
And then we'll break down the character, or the Airfinger's characters.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote.
So, here we go. The story starts out with, there's this evil queen, Juliana, thank you, which, in all honesty, doesn't come across as all that, menacing and all.
No.
The name,
No.
Juliana. I'm like, Well, that's a nice name.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Power Rangers had Rita Repulsa. And
Yeah,
yeah.
so- But here's the thing:
Lady
her
Divatox.
son. Oh yeah, Divatox, even as pathetic as she was.
Well,
Though
I mean-
oddly enough, she did beat the Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the most irritating.
Anyways, back to...
Oh, yeah, back to the
yeah.
thing. Sorry, we're desperately looking for something, some form of plot or something
Yeah,
that we reached out to Power Rangers of all things. Oh my god,
It's called filler, Stu.
It is filler.
You'll watch enough anime, you'll learn to embrace it.
yes, true. So, she gives birth to Necron.
No, not the Final Fantasy IX final boss.
No.
Or not the, edgy, for pretty much the sake of being edgy, Warhammer 40k race.
No, what you have is, I mean, how does one describe Necron?
Sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
To say the least. This is a very... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe him. Well...
A very incompetent Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth, I'd say, in terms of the whole...
Well, he does have the whole mother issue thing going on. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some other issues. And I'm not talking Oedipus complex, because I'm pretty sure we know which way he floats.
Yes.
And, well, out of all the... Okay, so, back on track. We'll get more
Yes,
onto
yes.
that.
We'll get back to that. Yeah,
particular point. So
Anyways.
Necron has control of ice,
Naturally.
and he's trying. His mother is using him and his power to control ice to push all of humanity towards the southern border, towards the equator, so she can slowly expand her field of power.
Oh.
And
Okay.
basically, she uses Necron to send a giant glacier forward in front of her armies of beastmen.
Yeah. Not like actual Beast Wars characters or like, hey, this guy's got the head of a tiger. This guy's got
It's
a...
Yeah.
more, they look like cavemen, but
They look
sometimes...
like Neanderthals.
They look like Neanderthals mixed with a little bit of orcish sometimes.
Kind of, yeah.
I think Sauron's orcs would have probably taken offense at these guys because
Yeah.
in terms of being menacing underlings, these beastmen are...
They're incompetent.
They're like
that's an understatement.
Neanderthals mixed with,
Stormtroopers.
yeah,
Yeah.
really incompetent stormtroopers and red shirts.
Yeah.
They die a lot.
Yeah.
So, the movie opens with the glacier basically starting to plow into a village, and you are treated to some interesting symbolism, to say the least.
No kidding.
Basically, you have Necron just making all these faces and stuff
his
as he can.
His eyes are like rolling into his head, and he's making this face.
You literally know what his O face looks like, people.
Yeah.
And I have to make this joke, but it takes on a whole new meaning to the phrase "winter is coming."
Hey, we're here every Wednesday, people. That's when you can throw your stones at us.
Indeed, cast the
All
first
right.
one if you're not guilty or whatever.
Well, okay, then to try to get us back on
back
track.
on topic.
Yes.
Yes. So,
So yeah, the ice is coming,
and you have this one lone warrior just like, I'm going to stand against it with all these other guys I'm with, and oh shit, that didn't work, and they all get hit by the ice.
yeah, it was it wasn't even 5 minutes in after the credits when already my ability to suspend my disbelief completely evaporated with hold the line. No, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I
No,
love
don't.
that.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious. Like, only one of them realized, wait a second, we're fighting a giant glacier with an axe.
Yeah,
This isn't gonna end well. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Later.
not to but it's at that point having your suspension of disbelief broken that soon, it just sort of takes
Yeah.
out of the entire experience. So it's just it becomes an unintentional parody of itself.
Oh, it really
Yeah.
does. Because then you have the main character, who we don't even learn his name until the end of the film, basically.
Pretty
And it's,
close. Yeah,
Larn.
Larn.
And he is as bland as humanly possible. If you thought Prince Adam from He-Man was bland, he at least had personality. This guy has nothing.
And I say,
You get a lot of moments like that, folks. So yes, he's the only survivor, and he escapes a pack of
wargs, essentially.
The beast guys,
Beast.
whatever you want to call
All
it.
the monsters start kind of blending together
They
in
really do.
macho 80s mishmash.
So he runs away from them, and then you have a scene with Juliana and Necron saying, "Oh well, I'm going to send my servants to go talk to the ruler of the remaining humans
I think
at Firekeep."
Firekeep, yeah, and
Which is a huge fortress castle in a volcano.
yeah, you
That's usually the bad guys' lair. These are the good guys.
yeah. Here's a heads up for you. We now know where Syndrome got his inspiration for his little volcano lair.
Oh, yeah.
But you gotta admit, the buildings and stuff look pretty cool. The background
Oh,
art is
yeah.
amazing.
The background when they're trying, it does look good, and
Mhm.
not the best, but good. But
Yeah.
it, I don't know. You can definitely tell that there's better out there, and this is.
Keep that in mind.
Oh,
I-
you're
I-
just
yes.
gonna keep throwing those
For Pete's
at
sake,
me.
we
Yes.
keep falling into your
Okay,
hands.
okay. You know what?
Fine.
I cannot. I for the sake of suspense, I will say it now. All right, for the sake of ending it, because I cannot. I'm gaining energy from this.
Oh,
all
okay.
right?
Just give it
All
up.
right.
All right,
Just
all
lay
right.
it on
So
us.
Let's keep this train going because I
There were
want to see
two-
where it's going.
there were two big names who worked on the background art for this film.
Okay.
They were
Okay.
not big then, but they became big.
Oh.
Oh.
The first one
Yeah.
is James Gurney. Now, why does that name sound familiar, folks? Maybe you've heard of a little series known as Dinotopia.
Oh.
The artist and writer for the Dinotopia book series.
Oh.
And I'm going to pull up a sample of his art, and you're going to see it right now. And there you go. There's a picture of Waterfall City.
Oh.
It is
Ooh.
fantastic. Here. So there. That is a sample of his artwork.
Man,
Yeah.
He is fantastic. And Dinotopia was one of my favorite books as a kid. I just love the art for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. Fire and Ice was kind of like his, freshman art school thesis project of sorts, and then this
Mhm.
was his master's work.
Yes, and you want to know who else worked on this?
Please,
All
do
right.
tell.
Okay, well, the other artist
Yeah.
is a gentleman by the name of Thomas Kincaid.
Thomas.
Now,
Oh.
why does that name sound familiar, folks?
Oh, you're gonna tell us.
Well, if you've ever seen a painting of a cabin at a resale shop or it's one of your relatives' folks' homes, it's probably Thomas Kincaid.
Oh.
I am not a fan of his work. He is the self-proclaimed painter of light. He's very kitschy, and I'm gonna bring up a sample of his work just so you know what it looks like.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure Laura Ingalls Wilder would be.
he's an ugly dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah, so let's pull up some of his work, shall
Okay.
we? And Thomas Kincaid. He's famous for his series of cottages and stuff. He's one of the most prolific painters in America, or was, I should say. He died in 2012.
Oh.
Huh.
He was an asshole.
Oh really?
Oh God, yes.
Ugh.
Oh.
But here's some samples of his work.
Oh.
Oh.
You've seen it.
Okay.
Oh, it's so kitschy and just like
It's
I got back from my honeymoon a couple months ago.
yeah.
And there was an auction on the boat,
Yeah.
and they were auctioning off some of his work. And the person on board, the auctioneer,
Yeah.
couldn't stop singing his praises about how he was like 1 in 20 Americans own his artwork in their house.
Yeah,
He's that prolific.
Uh-huh.
I hate this guy. Yes, he is a good artist, but it's kitschy. It's like this is something you see on a postcard
Yeah.
or on a chocolate box.
Yeah, you're.
It's I want to say it's a little too safe because
It really is.
Yeah.
it's-
Honestly, you look at Bob Ross and what he could churn out. I mean,
Yeah.
there was some actual passion behind it. This just kind of feels like factory churned out. No
Oh,
matter
it
how.
literally was, because
Yeah.
he just flooded the market with his stuff.
Yeah.
He copyrighted his own name.
What?
He copyrighted his own name, and he became a trademark.
Geez, the names attached to this film are getting more bizarre and
Oh, just
self-righteous
wait.
by the day.
So,
At least
there was
James
another
Gurney's good.
person involved in this, another rather pretty well-known name.
Please do tell.
He was, I think he did storyboard work or something. He actually animated the Dragonhawks, which were basically just pterodactyls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
let
let the names fool you. There's
They're dinosaurs.
They're dinosaurs,
They're-
basically. But he...
Probably why James Gurney was on board.
Oh, yeah. So, very true.
Yeah.
The gentleman who worked on animating those
Yeah.
was a gentleman by the name of... shoot, where is it? I had it in my notes here. Peter Chung.
Yeah.
Peter Chung.
Now, Peter Chung is a very famous director, animated director, and head animator, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
He directed Aeon Flux for MTV's Liquid Animation.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
He also was the director for Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury,
Oh.
which was a tie-in to the movie Pitch Black and to the Chronicles of Riddick series.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was also one of the main artists, animators, who worked on Rugrats,
Really?
Reign the Conqueror,
Oh.
which if memory serves, is basically the story of Alexander the Great.
Oh, okay.
Very
Huh.
weird series. His art style is very weird. I'm gonna pull up a picture of it.
Yeah, I just from
Peter Chung,
just
here
as
we
soon as
go.
you said Rugrats, I'm thinking, oh, this is a guy whose animation style takes the definition of a defined character body and model, and
Well,
just kind of likes to
here's-
play with it.
Here's a picture of Rain.
Is that a mecha or alien behind him?
I think it's an alien. I've never actually seen the series. It's a weird one.
Yeah,
It's just a reimagining of Alexander the Great.
as some sort of sci-fi.
Oh, it's a Japanese
Dystopic.
anime.
It's a Japanese
Yeah.
anime, yeah.
That
Yeah.
okay? That explains
Yeah,
the alien or mecha.
He also
Well-
worked
Or
on
alien mecha.
the Animatrix for one of the
Oh,
scenes there.
really?
Okay.
He also worked on the opening title design for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1987 series.
Oh,
Huh. Interesting.
And Transformers and the movie. He was the storyboard artist.
nice.
And he was the director for a 2010 TV movie for Cartoon Network called Fire Breather.
Fire breather.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a picture of it.
Yo.
I vaguely remember this.
Huh.
You guys ever hear of this?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I briefly heard about it. Maybe it's something we should look into eventually.
Maybe we'll see.
Eventually, in
Yeah.
the future.
Who knows? But yeah, that was another one of the people who worked on it.
So
So this had a lot of people who would eventually go on to do some great things. Work
Yes.
on
or at least some somewhat profitable ventures.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
at least they eventually, whether you like them or hate them, they did make a name for themselves.
They really
Uh-huh.
did. I mean, I may not like, I don't like Thomas Kincaid, but I will say this: he started out there, and you see what happened now. 1 in 20 Americans apparently own a piece of his work.
Yeah, I bet some of the other big figures of this film wish that was the case with 1 in 20 Americans owning video or DVD, because it
Yeah.
might have helped with sales. I imagine this didn't do.
No, it did not. It had
Yeah.
a budget of, I believe it was 1.2 million, and it only brought back a U.S. total box office of $760,883.
Ooh, that's
So it
not
did
good.
not make its money back.
No, it did not.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it wasn't.
But that's just the U.S. one. It
Yeah.
made a bit more. It made the money back overseas.
But still, you also have to factor in marketing. But
Yeah.
given the content and the concepts behind this film, I can't imagine the marketing campaign for that in the 80s, no less, would have been
Yeah.
very. Yeah.
But oddly enough, it
Yo.
is considered by some to be one of the quintessential fantasy films. In 2003, Online Film Critics Society ranked it as the 99th greatest animated film of all time.
What? Huh.
Yeah.
I'd like-
Animation-wise, I can kind of understand.
Yeah, okay.
But
Animation and setting wise, this has the makings of a great story.
if
The
you...
problem is the story itself.
Yes.
And the characters, or the lack thereof.
Which is why we still haven't talked about the actual story, because, folks, there barely is any.
Okay,
Alright,
if you're-
I can pretty much break it down for you.
Break
Please.
it down,
All
Alex.
right.
Break it down.
Here you go. Fire Princess, I'll just call it there because saying her name is Tigra sounds weird. Let's just call her Fire Princess. Our animators, enjoy drawing the female form. And,
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to say funny though? How we mentioned it was rotoscoped.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I'm gonna pull up a picture of the actress who played her again.
Yo, okay, let's
Here
see.
she is.
Yeah.
And that's she actually wearing the outfit and all. They had a bugger of a time finding someone to fit the physique.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, go figure.
Huh.
Seriously, folks, look up some more of this art, because,
I gotta give.
yeah.
I hope she was well paid for her work with this because.
I'm pretty sure most of the money went into paying the actors for this because...
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're going to put you in this, barely classified as a bikini, even by caveman standards, and you're going to strut around like you're in a knockoff Playboy photo shoot for a little while.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, there's
a
lot of
That reminds
posing.
me of that scene where we first see her, and she's
Yeah.
like, man, I want to go where Daddy is. And then she lays down on a couch, and then just starts posing.
Yeah.
It does seem a little odd, I will admit. But, you know what? Hey, more power to her. But here's a funny thing.
Yo.
Yeah.
The voice actors. What do you think of the voice acting?
Dark Wolf was good.
Dark Wolf
was good, yeah.
Dark Wolf was
I
good.
will say Necron was also passable.
Passable. I couldn't find anything much on his actor, in all honesty.
Okay.
I will say this. I found a lot of what little dialogue there was outside of the grunting to be passable to absolutely forgettable.
Yeah.
What really irked me though,
Mhm.
the lip sync.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was awkward.
Yeah, there is no real consistency with the lip sync to what is actually being spoken.
There will at times even be where an actor is speaking and they're shot profile, but their mouth just hangs open.
Yeah, and
No lip movement.
another thing that got me, that
Mhm.
really stuck out to me was the emotion
Mhm.
with what was being with their dialogue
Oh,
and whatnot,
yeah.
not matching their physicality at
Oh,
all.
The
Yeah.
prince was worse.
Uh,
Was the
the
worst
prince-
defender, I'd have
The
to say.
prince,
yeah.
but I think all the characters had those equally bad moments.
Mhm.
Whether it be you are this is a moment of absolute despair, and you're just treating it like, stubbed my toe, kind of hurts. To, oh, this is going to be kind of boring. Like, no.
Yeah. Well, Tigra
Yo.
Yeah.
was voiced by Maggie Roswell.
Maggie Roswell.
Does that name ring any bells to you?
Well, enlighten me.
All right.
That-
Well, Maggie Roswell is most well known for her work on The Simpsons,
Oh,
which
no.
she plays Maude Flanders,
Oh my God.
Oh.
Helen Lovejoy,
What?
and Mrs. Hoover, and Lorena Van Houten.
Oh my gosh, she played Maude Flanders?
Yes.
Huh.
Oh my god.
She
that
was
is...
Milhouse's mom.
No,
What?
that's not...
No. What?
Maude Flanders is Ned Flanders' wife.
Yes.
And oh my god, people, we're talking about in Fire and Ice, she plays a princess whose clothing options are bikini top and bikini bottom. And she voices Maude Flanders, the most religious conservative person in The Simpsons, to the point where she got killed
Yeah.
by a t-shirt cannon.
I thought you guys appreciate that.
Wow.
I thought you would.
I mean, that's like karma coming back and saying, wear a shirt, bitch. And it's,
I gotta throw up a picture just comparing the two. Just so here is Princess Tigra. Here is Maude Flanders.
note the difference, and I don't mean the
a
yellow
little bit.
skin.
Yeah, there's, but yeah, I don't think it was just Tigra that had the sexy voyeur poses going on. It was all, or what few women rather there were.
Well, there was
there was-
there was one
Juliana,
during the,
Juliana,
which Juliana was voiced by Susan Terrell,
Oh.
who is probably best well known for her performance in Andy Warhol's Bad. She won a Saturn
Huh.
Award for that for Best
Oh.
Supporting Actress in 1977. She died, I'm going to say late 90s, early 2000s. And in her obituary, she was described as, let me see, a whiskey-voiced actress with a talent for playing the downtrodden and grotesque. And you can definitely tell that with some of the characters. And she's also, she was in Pee-wee, Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top what?
Big Top Pee-wee, one of the Pee-wee Playhouses movies.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, when he goes to the circus. She played Midge Montana. And she also has some other voice acting credits.
So?
She was in The Chipmunk Adventures as the villain.
Uh,
One of the villains, I should say.
Yeah.
And she was also in the first 2 episodes of of Extreme Ghostbusters.
Wait,
Oh.
where's Egon training those little kids? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
okay.
I actually liked that series. It was pretty good.
That was a
Tara Strong was in that
Yeah.
one.
Oh.
Yeah.
She voiced the ghost that Kylie accidentally releases or summons that starts
Interesting.
the whole series off.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
And,
Okay. So.
yeah. It's a very
uh,
distinct voice, I will say that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, folks, apologies again. We are kind of grasping at straws with this film at the moment. So,
This is a film that
yeah.
if you want to understand, you kind of have to watch because there's no use explaining it because
There's not really much
there's
to explain.
not much there except
Yeah.
some badass action scenes.
Well,
Well, yes,
for
okay,
the for the
yes.
time, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's 80s. B animation. I've got to give the animators props for having the guts to go through with actually showing the
Oh,
spear and the
You can feel it when when
Yeah.
any blows you feel, and that's rotoscoping for you. You can
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, other than that, it just doesn't really have all that much that I would consider to be a classic, even by cult classic standards.
If we were to do, you know what we should eventually do,
But
Yeah.
and this is something I think we should attempt to try. We should do basically our own version of riff tracks for this because we could fill in the dialogue and stuff. I think something like we could do the whole MST3K on it.
Oh, absolutely. This film
'Cause-
this film would definitely appeal to that entire subgenre
Oh,
because
definitely.
it honestly the best films to do that for are those that already have very minimal flimsy structure holding them up already,
yeah.
and those that are just
So maybe that's
completely non-existent.
yeah, so
So
maybe
I
that's a
mean, hey,
project.
and hey, if you want to do it with friends, I mean, by all means, have fun with it. I'm sure you can, probably do this with a few other black sheep
definitely.
works.
So, folks,
Yo.
we want your opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Would you be interested in our MSTK idea for something like this? Would you be interested in us releasing an audio recording of us to put to this? Would you like that, folks? Please respond in the comments below. We want your opinions.
And hey, if you do want it, well, let's just say you'll get visuals in motion to go along with the ludicrous characters in a
Oh, yes.
otherwise inhospitable environment. You're in the Arctic,
Pretty
in the
much.
Ice Age, and
Wearing
you're
a
wearing a
loincloth.
bikini, and you're
Yeah.
not dead of frostbite.
And if you actually want to do your own riff tracks, we'll leave a link to the Blu-ray
Mhm.
DVD collection
Yeah.
that you can purchase off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because you already know our opinion of this film.
Yeah.
Apparently, in 2010, Robert Rodriguez
Yeah.
of Sin City fame and Mariachi and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he apparently was very interested in directing a live-action remake of it.
What?
What?
Yes, and Sony Pictures bought the rights, and as of 2014, they own the rights to the live-action version of it, and it's still in the works. It's still apparently in like what is
Production
it?
hell.
Production hell, yes. But he's still set to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it's no surprise that Hollywood enjoys digging through, nostalgia, trying to
Mm-hmm.
milk whatever money it can out of, its old properties, but seriously, they must have dug way
Oh,
past,
he
the
put,
bottom
he
of
put
the
this
bin.
forward.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez wants to redo it.
Wow.
Ralph Blanchie wants nothing to do with it. Batchy. I gotta get back to saying that.
Yeah, I can kind of see why he would want to, given that he's done other better works. But but yeah, Stu, you already know my opinion. It's
Yeah.
Ditto for me.
It's
subpar.
it really
It's
is.
subpar.
I mean, if you grew up watching it,
then I'd have to question what parents and or relatives allowed you to watch.
definitely
that.
not one for kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
It could be easily mistaken for one for kids, but I wouldn't suggest that.
This is definitely rated T for teen.
Older teen, yeah.
Older
Yeah.
teen, 18 years old.
Yeah,
And you're
it's-
questioning why your pants are tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you were that kid that enjoyed sneaking Conan the Barbarian books into like elementary school or like early middle school because you were just at that little cusp of sexual awakening or whatnot.
I was doing that with Stephen King. That
Wow.
says a bit about me, I guess. I
Yeah,
read Stephen King at a very young age.
Well,
That's why you are what you are.
you are what you read.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
all right, well, that's it.
That's
a
it for
wrap.
this
That's
episode.
it for Fire and Ice.
But folks,
Oh.
what is our next episode going to be on?
Yeah, what do we got?
Why, Will, my dear fellow. Yes, yes. What do we have in store for
I
our
can tell
listeners
you're
next week?
excited. What is it?
The only way I can do this is through the battle cry.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen
boy.
in the audience, please say along with me. You to be quiet.
All
We
right,
want them
all
to
right.
understand. Join me as I say, Thundercats, ho! We will be looking at the 2011 series Thundercats with Will Friedle as Lion-O. And on that note,
I'm Stu.
I'm Will,
And I'm Alex.
and we wish you a pleasant time.